A pleasant afternoon to you out there. The program is Nigeria Now, and we will be looking at economy, security, and also education on the program today. You can follow us live on Facebook, also on YouTube. Drop your views on any of these issues we will be looking at this afternoon. I am Sarah Elisha Dasham, and I'll be doing the program alongside Rachel Tansei. Good afternoon, Rachel.
Sarah.
I don't know, is it a matter in Nigeria today that made you dress in all black?
Maybe Sele, but then there's actually nothing to be happy. Like literally, first of all, looking at the people that have been bombed by and the army,
Yeah,
the
this is a sad
mistake
one.
is it is a sad one because this is not the first time, it's not the second, it's not the third, it's the countless times now coming from our army. So it's coincidental, but I
But
mean it
then
just
kind of way
fits
of
the
commiserating with
true,
them.
true.
And I
Sele.
think it's on that note that we should start with that story, Rachel. You know, it's very sad that we heard that over 80 people
Yes.
were being bombed in a village in Kaduna State on Sunday. And that's talking about some Muslim faithful. They were celebrating a festival, and then the bomb kept dropping, and then over 85. In fact, as it is presently, the numbers are still counting because some
Yeah.
people have been seriously injured and other people are missing. So the army have taken full responsibility of saying that it was actually their fault, and then based on some intelligence information they got. But the problem is not only is international bodies complaining about this, but this is not the first time it is
It's not.
happening. From 2017 down till date, we've had a number of bombing. We had in Katsina State, we've had in Zamfara, we've had in Kaduna
Yes.
recently, we've had in a number of states, and questions such as what really is the problem? Are we saying that because even though it's not really the army, I mean, right now they were kind of a information whether it was the Nigerian Air Force or
The
the
Air
army,
Force
and the Air Force
removed
have come out to
themselves
say that
from
they
it.
have nothing to do.
Yes.
In fact, as it is presently,
It's a
they are
drone.
not. Yeah, they are
Yeah.
not the only ones in possession of drones. But then here we're saying that the army have taken responsibilities. But then the question here, Richard, is the fact that how can the army be careless to that point? Because even though they might look at it like it was a mistake or an error, but this is too much of an error. Where whenever you're given an information, it is expected that you verify this information before you do anything of that manner. Because imagine over 80 people, Rachel, it's more like wiping a whole community, and
Yeah.
it's really, really sad. Of course, we've seen that the governor of Kaduna has said the probe should be done about the issue behind that. A lot of people are talking about that and also sending their condolences to the family involved. Khan have spoken. We've seen the Ariwa youth have also spoken about it. A number of people are adding up their voice to the issue of this and condemning the act coming from the army. But I think more work should be done, especially in verifying information and intelligence before taking out such an operation.
Sele, when we sleep on our jobs, this is the result of it. When we are relaxed and incompetent, this is the result of it. We talk about insurgency in this country. We keep emphasizing the fact that there's so much sabotage in the army that we keep seeing operations to attack Boko Haram's left, right, center turn out to be unsuccessful. And it keeps showing the gap and the lapses in our military that, you know what, someone is sleeping on their jobs and it's not acceptable. This is not a mistake that should be accepted. Somebody should lose their job. Somebody should be in prison. Somebody is not worth being in control of that drone or under investigation. Because first of all, if it is a drone, there are coordinates, Ele. And there's a coordinate for where we are right now. There's a coordinate for the next street and everything. Who did the investigation to where these terrorists are? Who brought back the information of where they are? And who handled this drone attack? This is where all the questions should rise. And it's not enough to just say sorry and let it be. Because you know what? It has happened. It's still happening. And it will
might
happen again.
happen again.
Yes, the might, because when we thought the last one had happened, we are now still seeing another one. Why? Because the army just said sorry and case closed. Or we take full responsibility for it, case closed. Or it was a mistake and it ended there. enough is enough. We can't be dealing with unknown gunmen. We can't be dealing with bandits and also dealing
with our own security
we
operatives
can't.
as well.
It doesn't just make sense. Like, what are we going to face in this country? Because this is just the highest peak of incompetence, because these drones don't operate on themselves. There's a human being operating. So if there's a mistake, there's someone that didn't do their job well. And we can't have that in our system. We can't have that in our system. No wonder we'll have so many failed operations, because somebody didn't get their intel correctly, somebody didn't get their information well. And we will keep seeing this backwardness because people are going scot-free with something this serious. Because you should know who lives in a community and who doesn't. When you are operating this machine, you know where you're going to and where you're not going to. Does that mean who was operating the drone don't know how to? It means so. Or didn't put the right area code, whatever it is, and all of that, what the military terms. Does that mean this person didn't do the right thing? So this is not just one of those things that the army will just say sorry and then it goes like that. There needs to be an end to this, and then it starts now. And I just hope that it doesn't just stop with them saying we take the blame.
But proper investigation,
no, yes,
heads should roll,
exactly,
just like we've seen other people that
proper
say.
investigation. Who should face the penalty for this should face the penalty. Let there be an example of someone, and let there be a wake up in our security, in our armed forces, in everything. Let there be a wake up, because it's just killings in Southern Kaduna, and now it's by the military. Even if it's a mistake, lives have been lost. It doesn't change that fact. It doesn't change that, you know what, the community has been destroyed because of mistake from people that should protect them. It's really sad, and I just hope that it doesn't just stop at a story, but that the needful should be done concerning this act by the army.
And I know that is the only way people will be at peace, because if we are having all of these bodies coming out to say that they condemn the act, and just like you rightly pointed the fact that we cannot be talking about kidnapping unknown gunmen, which I believe they are not unknown because they have faces, they are not faceless men and women. But I'm believing that our security operatives should be more careful in anything they do. Verify every information before you carry out any operation, because believe me, you can't bring these people back again. They are gone, and nothing can be done. And you have ruined their festival, whatever celebration they were having, it was ruined. And you ask questions such as, was it that loud? I mean, what really, were they gunshots? What make you feel that something was actually happening over there?
We usually see terrorists in such a number celebrating openly. They are always covered and sacred. That's why they take control over places like the Sambisa forest, because it is a hideout. Regardless of how Boko Haram herdsmen are, they still don't move in such a large number openly. They find terrains that, you know what, are hidden. But these are people happily having a celebration in their large number. This is a community, and you attack them. What excuse you have rather than incompetence? You have no excuse whatsoever rather than incompetence. Nothing to say that you mistaking these people. No. There are certain locations you can't just mistaking them, or certain gatherings that you can't just mistaking them. It just says incompetence at its peak, and therefore no excuse whatsoever. That's why they need to answer to this, and then what needs to be done should be done.
We just hope to hear what the government of Kaduna State is going to do about this after the investigation. Just like we said, let the people involved in this actually be punished for that, and then that will serve as an example to other bodies to be very careful and verify every information. Now let's take a look at the educational sector. This is a sector that you and I have been, it seems as if this have been making most of our talks from last week down till this week. We have been talking about the importance of our educational sector, talking about funding, talking about what should be done so that everybody will have equal opportunity to actually study. Now we're seeing that NAS is vowing that they are not going back on their protests on the issue of increase of tuition fee. We're seeing that of University of Calabar protest is going on. Presently,
Yeah.
they started a protest on Monday, which was yesterday, where they said their school fees or their tuition fee was increased by 100%. And we remember that in September, October, we had that in University of Jos, we had that also in OAU, that's Obafemi Awolowo University. And a number of universities have come out to protest the fact that a hike is too much, over some as high as even 200%. And you ask questions such as, what really is the government doing to make sure that we have the students in school? Because like that of the University of Calabar, they just went on a peaceful protest, barricading the roads, causing hold up, because of course, if the students are not happy, definitely they will make the environment. And then the fear right now is so that we don't have hoodlums actually taking advantage of such protests, because we know how most protests eventually end up. And I ask questions such as, what is the government doing about this? What is the Minister of Education doing about it? What is the Commissioner of Education, the VCs in the school? We will remember when the government asked the universities to pay 40% of the IGR, and they said they're not even having enough funding for the university. So how on earth are they supposed to pay 40% of that revenue to the government? And now we're seeing here that students have taken it into their own hands to say, you know what, we are not taking this anymore, and we are going to keep protesting until the government listen to us and do something about it. We're seeing NASA saying that students should be given 200,000 naira, but a lot of school of thought, other people are coming out to say that have NAS proven themselves enough that they will be giving that money? Because we've had issues where NAS president, for example, in the last 2-3 years, we've had presidents that have not really stand to the students. They have not actually defended the student as they should. You could imagine saying, for example, if you're supposed to have a meeting with a NAS president, then he's coming in an SUV, and you ask, how on earth did you get the money to get that? So these are questions people are asking. But right now, the issue of funding and the fact that a lot of students can no longer study. Why? Because the tuition fee is way high. Let's not even talk about the dues you will pay eventually. We know you have SUG, you'll be having departmentals, you'll be having faculty, and little things more, because you and I know the way that our tertiary institution is, especially in the federal tertiary institution. So right now the question is, what is the government doing to make sure that we don't lose our students to protest always on the street? Because in a matter of time, if something is not being done, I'm afraid of the outcome of what is going to happen with this protest.
I mean, Stella, at this point, I will say let the university start giving the 40% IGR, because you can't have a 40% tuition hike and then claim you're not making any extra revenue either way. Because first of all, I'm not going to say the universities are funded fully enough for me to say they have no business whatsoever increasing tuition fee, but 100% is too much. We talked about that even when it started with many universities, federal university, and it just went. And I believe that the message that we're getting from university is that, you know what, this tuition fee hike has come to stay, and they are not changing their mind about it. Because we saw that of the University of Jos, and in the end, what was it resulted to? The students still paid that because it was over 100% increase, and they did. The only thing that the university did was they kind of split the payment of the salary of the school fees. Rather, you pay 80%, and then you pay the remaining 20%.
In your second
Yes, the second semester. That was what they did concerning the tuition fee. However, the 100% increment was fixed, and it wasn't changed. And regardless of the protest, we remember with the NAN at that time, nothing changed. It still happened like that. Now, if our universities are going to go about that, let's not forget that apart from the lecturing, there's nothing coming to the students from the school apart from these lectures. They pay for every practicals, they pay for their books, for their resources, for their handouts, every book that they need. They pay for virtually everything. That is how our school system is. So when you see 100% tuition fee hike, you wonder, where are we heading to? Because in the end, we still pay for every other thing. You go for faculty dues, you go for SUG, every other association in the school that is registered as a body, you declare you pay for health despite it being listed already
of course
in the breakdown for the tuition. You will pay for every
so you pay
single
everything
thing.
like twice.
So yes, you literally pay twice. And so when the federal government is trying to say, you know what, maybe the university needs to give us 40%, I believe they know that the university is capable. But then the university is still in the position feeling that, you know what, we're the one in need of more funds than you out there. Then don't go for 100% tuition fee, because first of all, it's not fair. Knowing fully well that the student loan program is yet to start rolling out. So you're just putting people in a position, you're putting students, parents, wards in the position where, you know what, a lot of people might have to defer a semester or a whole school session, because this 100% hike for a lot of people, medical students, we know what it means. Other professional courses and all of that, we know what it means. And even if you're not in a professional course and your tuition was like 50,000 naira in the previous semester, it means that now we are going to 100,000. And a lot of people even struggle with the 50,000, and now we're talking about 100,000, for instance. So I mean, the universities have said, like, they've made their stance clear that there's no going back. Then let's see a payment, yes, an installment payment where it can help these students. I believe that that's one of the things that the students can do. However, for this protest, I just hope that there will be some calm for these students, because our fear all the time, we keep mentioning it, is the fact that it could be hijacked. And before we know, with a peaceful protest, the news tomorrow will be that students have lost their life. And honestly, we don't want that, because you being alive is more better. If you defer a semester, your life don't end. You know, you still get the following year. Store up your money, do whatever it takes to go back to school, because as it is now, so much is happening in the country that, I mean, it feels like we're just in a vicious cycle, almost like a dead end. And then we don't know when the economy will be better. So until things start becoming better, as promised by the federal government, 2024, as it stands now, I believe that everybody just have to keep bracing, because in as much as we don't want to say that, we see that every time we have the need to keep telling people to just praise up.
Indicators are pointing towards that.
Yes, are just pointing towards that. So that's just the encouragement to every Nigerian student and parent that their words are in the tertiary institution, that, you know what, just do the needful. The protest, I mean, wouldn't change much, because the university are telling you that this is their stand concerning the tuition fees and all of that. So, but then let's see how 2024 will be, because it looks like the hopeful year for Nigerians.
Rachel, you know, it's one thing for us as Nigerians to actually be hopeful for 2024, but you can only tell how 2024 will look from now.
True.
This is just a clear indication here, because if a lot of tertiary institutions, federal universities, should be starting exams, because this is the first semester. So
yes,
exams should be actually by the corner, or some already starting. You know, your CAs and all of that should have been completed and all of that. But then here we are having students on the street rather than studying for exams. Now we're seeing them holding placards that are very, very. We've had issues of even lecturers taking advantage of female students. We have issues where some of the universities are not providing security, like that issue that we have presently in ATBU, whereby lectures have been suspended for 1 week starting from yesterday. Why? Because a final year student was being murdered on Saturday, and then the student took to, you know, the street, or actually the school premises, and they were protesting concerning the dead. And now questions such as, what is the government doing to provide security? You make mention of the fact that 100% tuition fee is too much, because apart from the lecture, nothing more is being given to you. You paid for the university. If you're going to stay in campus, you have to pay for the hostel. If you're going to be doing everything, you pay for every little thing. And so right now, what is the government even doing? What is even the schools doing concerning providing security? Because, Rachel, you made mention of the fact that your life is important. But imagine after paying the 100% tuition fee, if there is no progress, or the deliberation of this progress or this protest never bring up anything productive, how about the security of the students over there? Because if one person is being killed by armed robbers, you never can tell how many more people can be killed. You remember when we visited the issue of Zamfara, where some female students were being kidnapped, and those students were living off campus, but close to the school premises. We don't know if everybody have been brought back because we saw progress coming up, but then we don't know if every one of those students actually made it back. So these are questions Nigerians are asking beyond just the lecture. How about the security of the student? We've had issues whereby students are protesting and then tear gas being thrown at them, or gunshots, and then you realize that we have lost 1, 2, 3, 4, or even more students. So I am hoping that, a lot of people have come out to say, for any government to progress, we are supposed to give education attention. And a lot of people have even come out to argue, we are supposed to be having 30% of the budget go to education. But reverse is the case, where we're having just 5% or not more up to that.
Our recurrent spendings are taking those percentage.
And no wonder people are coming out to say, in fact, even the student loan shouldn't be loan. It should be grants given to the student. Because if you give them the loan, how would they pay it? We know the way the Nigerian economy is presently. You can be graduating, or you can graduate and then 4, 5 years, no job. So a lot of people are even coming out to fault the issue of even this loan as it is presently. No wonder NAS is saying they should be giving, as we say, no, we want the student to be giving grants. So a lot of conversation, if you're going to look at this education funding and all of that, people are saying if the government can afford to send over 400 delegates, then they should have money to be able to fund education. So right now, as it is President Rachel, our fingers are just crossed. We just hope that nothing happens to these students, and we hope that they will get the attention that they need eventually concerning this issue of a high tuition fee. Well, Richard, I just wanted us to talk about, not about our time is fast spent. So thank you so much for doing
You're
this.
welcome, Seven.
Thank you so much to our viewers and our supporters. Until we come tomorrow, do have a blessed day ahead.